All new at 5:30, voting is underway in this year's primary election. And tonight for Albany's Democratic mayoral candidates, a special edition of Power in Politics. We're calling it The Final Word. Tom Eschen is live in Studio B, where he sat down with all four candidates. So, Tom, how did it go?
Thanks, Lara. They all came in today, and you could definitely feel the energy from each candidate as they continue to get ready for Tuesday night's primary. Early voting, as you mentioned, is underway right now. Until then, it's going to be nonstop for them. It's going to be nonstop for us. But at the same time, the city of Albany right now reacting to some recent violent crimes, including that one on Wednesday where violent crime met the immigration debate. So for the sake of this segment here tonight, we're going to ask each of those candidates, Dorcey Applyrs, Dan Cerutti, Corey Ellis, Dr. Carolyn McLaughlin, about their perspective on what happened Wednesday, and that those who have questioned sanctuary policy, how they're responding to that as a result. I want us to talk specifically what happened on Wednesday. You had the individual who threatened the U.S. attorney with a knife, a scary situation. The reports say this was an undocumented immigrant that was involved as the suspect here, you could say. And then you had the Republican side mainly saying this is a result of the sanctuary city policy of Albany. Do you agree with that?
So what I would say is first, and I'm so grateful that the U.S. attorney is safe as an individual, but also as I'm sure his family. That's a scary thing, and so I'm glad that he was not harmed. I think regardless of someone's citizenship status, the truth is we should be focused on addressing crime and public safety across our city no matter what. And so while I know that this is very much a controversial issue, we need to be focused on the true issue, and that is anyone in this city, regardless of your citizenship status, should be held accountable if you decide you want to commit a violent act. You do not get a pass if you are a citizen or non-citizen, and I think we have to be very clear about what the real issue is and not used this political windstorm. We know that this is such a controversial issue. I think people get distracted by that. The real issue is people in Albany want to feel safe in their homes, in their neighborhoods, visiting stores, and we need to tackle that, and that's the real issue.
Republicans say the city's sanctuary policies are to blame for that. Do you agree with that?
I do not. This right and left extreme criticism and yelling is noise. These people are in our city. There's too many of them in our city, given our ability to deal with the people on the street. We need more capacity, as I've said, to help with substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and poverty. Our police force is down. So the combination of not having enough resources on the streets and in the neighborhoods, combined with an influx of people, creates a difficult situation. I don't think that any given sanctuary city policy or any border policy is to be blamed for one guy. He's been in the country for 5 years, is my understanding. He's obviously got some problems. We didn't have the presence in that area of the city at that time of the day. These isolated cases cannot be construed to be the problem.
Mainly Republicans say, well, the city's sanctuary policies were the reason this happened. Do you agree with that?
I don't know how the sanctuary policy, unless this person was arrested and released again in the city of Albany, which I don't think that's the case. A person who's on our streets that we don't know about, how could you apply that to sanctuary law? I'm glad the U.S. attorney was not harmed, which is foremost, but that goes back to when those things happen and the news reports it, then the perception of Albany not being safe. And last week we had a young man killed. So then that furthers that theory that Albany's not safe. But I don't think a policy of sanctuary city had anything to do with that individual attacking or trying to attack a U.S. attorney, which is illegal. I've always said this. It's about following the law.
Do you think that crime happened because of the sanctuary policies in the city of Albany?
No. I mean, I will not blame a specific incident on the fact that we have a positive policy that exists in our city and has been in existence for a number of years. We cannot look at an incident and make that and help that determine that we got to change our sanctuary city status. No. things are happening with individuals no matter where they're from, no matter how long they've been in the city. So I'm not willing to make a decision or to categorize one incident as the result of our city being a sanctuary city.
So interesting responses across the board from Democrats, as you know there, but some nuance to that as well. In terms of crime in those longer conversations, we touched on the perception, the reality of the statistics and how they address all of that. Also, whatever they wanted to address in the final days of their campaign, and also who they are inspired by. Some really interesting answers to that. All these conversations, just about 10 minutes apiece. So when you go to vote, you can listen, get informed, and decide who you want to vote for. And all those will be live as podcasts first thing Friday morning. But for now, let's go back to you, Lara.